and we will start in a very good way the morning of Friday, because we also need to start every day our morning with a smile on our faces, and we need to laugh, right? Here in Romania, we have a very famous publication that makes us laugh in a very smart way, because it gives us the possibility to think and to reflect about how we should take politics and politicians more seriously by looking at their mistakes and looking at the irony with which the decisions impact our lives. So I'm very pleased to introduce you the next speaker. We have Ionuț Adrian Foltea with us, who is a redactor at Times New Roman. Times New Roman is actually one of the most popular daily independent newspaper of voluntary humor. Their activity mimics the most recent news from Romania and also abroad in a funny manner, as I already said. He is the redactor of this publication with 10 years of experience in satire. So I would kindly like to ask Ionuț to come here on the stage and to start the day fresh.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, except for the Austrians in the room. My name is Adrian, and I'm a comedian. I decided to show up and deliver my speech, although political assassinations are back in fashion. Hopefully, I won't get shot today, but if I do, I strongly recommend you start the investigation with the Austrians in the room. You might think that I'm slightly overweight, but I assure you that is fake news. I am simply wearing 2 bulletproof vests. Joking aside, it was indeed shocking to hear that the Prime Minister of a Central European country was gunned down. Shock gave way to intense sadness once I learned it was the Slovak Prime Minister and not the Austrian one. That being said, I shall begin with the most famous quote about democracy by Winston Churchill. He said something like that: "Democracy is the worst form of government except for all others." Well, that is Winston's opinion, a drug addict and a drunk who sold Romania to Stalin at Yalta in 1945. I, on the other hand, have not sold Romania to the Russians yet. So you should trust me to give a better definition to democracy. I say democracy is a solution to a problem that should not have been there in the first place. And why is that? Simply put, because if humans had been nice people with logic, compassion, and common sense, there wouldn't be a need to solve this man-made apocalypse. And so, this is democracy's greatest vulnerability: human nature. Us, the idiots, the conniving bastards, the thieving lunatics, with ideas such as the Romanian proverb, "It is better for his mother to cry than for my mother to cry." A programmer would call these bugs. So, how did mankind try to solve these bugs? Well, they invented 2 solutions in the attempt to obtain a new, superior type of human being. The solutions were Bolshevism and religion. Bolshevism, as you well know, failed, except in Hungary. Religion, on the other hand, was a great success. Religion worked so well that it gave rise to theocracy, much to the dismay of Democrats. Theocracy is so beloved by humans that even today the head of state in Iran is the Ayatollah. The Americans worship Elon Musk, and the real Romanian president is, of course, the patriarch Daniel, hallowed be his name. I don't know what they taught you in school, but back in the previous millennium, when I attended high school, they told us there are 2 types of democracy: the direct democracy and indirect democracy. Originally, democracy was direct. The Athenians got together and raised their hands and voted on what mattered. Time passed, dictators came and went and stayed in Hungary, and suddenly the elite had a brilliant idea: indirect democracy. Instead of deciding yourself what happens with the public interest, you elect some other person who will decide for you. Humans were so stupid and lazy that they accepted. Direct democracy was soon forgotten, except in Switzerland, where rich people live. Indirect democracy is everywhere, from developed countries such as Papua New Guinea to primitive backwaters such as Hungary. And so, we got to where we are right now. The main problem with indirect democracy is that what the citizen wants is almost never what the senator will decide. There is a chasm, an abyss, between the one who elect and the elected. What is the result of this? That more and more people say, fuck your democracy, we want something else. This is what the elite calls extremism. People who reject indirect democracy are labeled extremists. Is this a classical form of extremism like fascism, Bolshevism, or veganism? No. In fact, this planetary extremism says one thing, that we are on the brink of a new revolution. As Morpheus told Neo in the movie Matrix, let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know, you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there is something wrong with democracy. You don't know what it is, but it's there like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you here. Do you know what I'm talking about? That you are a slave to indirect democracy. This is a revolutionary time of direct democracy against indirect democracy. People feel that their political power has been stolen from them. They are told that laws are meant to be created by professionals. That is, of course, a lie. What professionals? Our Prime Minister got his high school diploma when he was 30 years old. And before that, he used to sell pretzels in a small town in Moldova called Buzău. The present-day elite, who rules and benefits from political power rooted in indirect democracy, refuses to relinquish these attributes, and so they create fail-safe measures. For instance, Romanian Constitution, Article 74, Paragraph 2 says, citizen legislative initiative is forbidden on fiscal matters, on international matters, on amnesty and pardons. Why citizens are not allowed to propose laws concerning international relations is obvious. Otherwise, if it was up to ordinary citizens, Romania would have invaded Austria on December 8, 2022, after their disgraceful vote on the Schengen accession, a vote they will soon regret, I assure you. Revolution is here, and direct democracy will make a comeback, even though that will mean a new WhatsApp group on your phone. Joking aside, this year Estonia will have an app for voting, a simple app where you can use your political power and vote. Unfortunately, on this app, you will vote for, exactly, some other person who will decide for you instead of you, sometimes against you. Is indirect democracy impossible today? Obviously, not anymore. Should we try it? I say, why not? I say, we should have a vote on that. All those in favor of direct democracy, raise your hands. Thank you. And please, a round of applause for the Austrians in the room.